So let's take a look at a couple of them. If we start with excellence,
Okay. Yeah.
which is set at level 2, what's your view of why level 2 is the target level for this particular behaviour?
As in, kind of, what do I understand from those?
Yeah. So you look at those indicators. So they're level 2 indicators.
Yeah.
Why have we set it at level 2 for your job rather than level 1 or level 3?
Oh, I see. Right. Okay. Not sure really. I mean, reading the descriptors, I kind of agree with what you've put. About wanting to do well. I do want to do well. I would say that I am motivated. I suppose when you look at the, when you start to look at the level 3s and whether I'm covering up those goals, then maybe that's not the case.
Yeah, and that wouldn't really be required for your job role.
Okay.
As you progress within the organisation, within the school, if you do,
yeah.
And then in different roles, in more senior roles, we will be looking for level 3 behaviour. But level 2 behaviour is appropriate for the job that you do as a DT teacher, because we do expect that to produce the results that we need from you, you need to kind of almost like take responsibility for putting in that extra discretionary effort sometimes.
Well, I'm kind of, I agree, and I'm kind of pleased with that. I want to do well, put an extra effort out. I would say I do that. I put a lot of effort into the resources that I produce, for example.
Yeah. Which kind of answers my next question, really, because I was going to say to you, so that is the target level. Which level do you believe you're operating at? So it feels like you're starting to indicate that you feel that you're already operating at that level for the reasons you've started to give.
I do. I think so. Yeah.
Okay, and I do agree with that. And the one that I would particularly highlight is the resources, the extra equipment and the resources, and the development of resources that you put in place within your classes. And I do see you as somebody who doesn't need things like lesson observations and feedback to be able to reflect and make changes yourself. I see you running that process for yourself.
No, I do. Yeah.
So yeah, you're on target for this competency, which is good news.
Good.
Of the other 4 of the value-based behaviours, which would you say you're less effective, or which is your least effective one? Probably just better off looking at these here.
Okay. I don't know really. Possibly collaboration.
So you start off with not sure, but then you've kind of gone to possibly collaboration. So why is your attention being drawn towards that one more than the others?
I think one of the kind of points, one of the kind of criteria was about, something to do with like sharing resources and
Okay. Well, let's flick over to it.
Okay.
So we make sure we're kind of looking at the right thing.
Yeah.
Okay. There it is.
Yeah. It is that really. It's that I think at times I can be quite protective over. Like I spend quite a lot of time producing resources, and
which is kind of what.
Yeah, like I just said, I've got it's my background, and I think I can be quite protective over it. I don't, I share some things, but I just choose to keep some things.
What's behind that? Because I've known you for a little while now, and that's not behaviour I saw from you in the past, but it is behaviour I have.
There were just a few occasions where I'd produced, I enjoy sharing because it's kind of showing off a little bit, and it's people seeing you, just what you're capable of. But there were a few occasions where the stuff that I'd produced had kind of someone else had taken the credit for.
Right. Okay.
And
so you took a while to get there then, but that's the crux for you, isn't it? So it's cheesed you off that other people have got the credit for some of the investment that you've made, and that's resulted in you just being thinking twice about what you're prepared to share and what you're not.
And it's not with everything. It's just there's a few. You know.
Okay. Well, I understand the reasons for it, and perhaps that's a conversation we can have just in terms of how that's just affecting the choices you're making now.
Okay.
We don't need to talk about that now, but we will chat about it some other time. I'm going to balance that by saying I do have an expectation of you, that because my interest is not just in you, it's with the performance of the overall department, the performance of the school, and I feel sometimes a bit shortchanged by some of the stuff that you kind of hold on to.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And I suspect that your colleagues will as well, if that's what I see.
Okay. Yeah.
So with that in mind, I would say that you're not a million miles away, but I don't think you're quite hitting the notes of all of the level 2 behaviours at this moment in time. So I agree with you that collaboration is probably the one with the greatest scope for you to improve. And in particular, that behaviour that you've just highlighted about sharing is something I'd like to see more from you. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you were to do that, how do you think it might show up in terms of your overall performance?
It may, make other staff more likely to kind of share their resources, and just, it could be causing, for all I know, it could be causing tension in the departments where that's holding people back, making people not be.
It could do. I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing. But what I want to do is nip in the bud the potential that people are just going to start keep things to themselves, which affects ultimately everybody's performance.
And I suppose, by sharing, then those resources can kind of be developed by everybody rather than just me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.